His paintings are favorites of Denzel Washington and Oprah Winfrey, and now President Obama has one hanging in the White House. Better talk with artist Chaz Guest about his powerful images that take your breath away. Chaz Guest paints with the sensibility of a poet.
The blue eyes and the very strong African face, just mixing of the cultures. Everyone can find themselves in this image that I rendered here. The subject depicting a young wife, and she's preparing dinner for her husband, who is out in the field working. What I tried to capture here in this painting was a day's work, in which, I've depicted the 2 sacks of cotton. And even in his day's work of being tired, once again with help from that wonderful vermilion paint, I was able to depict these eyes. When I paint, you see, I like to paint the eyes first, so then they look at me, right? But I can't wait to finish the mouth, because then I began to imagine what they would say, what they would want me to have them say.
His brilliant artwork captured on canvas caught the eye of some very influential people, including President Obama. He
fell in love with this painting, and they arranged it through a museum that he should have that painting, and it was hanging in his office in Washington. And of course, now he moves there, and the painting's right behind him. He really loves that painting. He's written me letters, in regards to that painting. He's really connected to it in a way.
He's an artist and a Renaissance man in the true sense of the word.
I had a very bad speech impediment when I was a kid, and so that helped in making me understand silence, of course. And so in silence is where, I discovered I had a knack for drawing. And later, I loved painting, and I began to paint here in New York City. I went to the art supply places all around and bugged the hell out of all of the guys about material and linen, and then I bought this big thick book about painting from the Renaissance. And I actually taught myself how to paint from this book. When I was spending time in Spain, I did a collection of Les Bizarre horses dancing, and then that spilled into just the whole dancing aspect.
The piece is reminiscent of Degas, but very much his own style. He also created a collection of work mingling Japanese and African cultures.
Sort of like a hybrid, if you will, a hybrid of cultures.
When Chaz was hired to do some fashion drawing some years ago, he stumbled across another painter who shared his passion and influenced him artistically.
I was going up to continue my work doing these illustrations, and the elevator door opened in the building right there, and all of these wonderful colors jumped out.
The other painter was Robert De Niro Sr.
And I would bring canvases, and we'd paint, and we'd talk about painting, go to the museums together. He would take one line with the eye and then move it down to the hair. And that one line was just so musical and so eloquent. My style is different, but I do try to take one line a long way. And that's what I learned with him.
His painting Helical Spectre was created on stage with a jazz band playing.
So I got into the music, and out came this one painting that was like crazy, just completely inspired by music. But it was Robert De Niro Sr.'s line that I had in my reserve, of just that one long line that kept me safe. That was the beginning of a lifelong of free painting, freedom of painting. When I paint and I'm sharing my paintings with someone, it reminds me that if I lived 3 lifetimes, I would not be able to paint as much as I would like to. Everything that's in my head and how short one lifetime is clearly not enough time.
Chaz Guest will have a new showing in New York City this June, and you can log on to better.tv and find a link to the artist's website.
Thanks for watching better.tv. For more stories like the one you just saw, catch the television program Better every weekday. Check your local TV listings to see if Better airs in your city.